JDBC, Java Database Connectivity. Now, what is a database? Tell me. Collection of related data. Correct. Okay. In one way. Any other definitions? Set of records. Okay. Anything. Tell me, Oracle is a database? No. What is Oracle? Oracle is a company, of course, but Oracle product I am talking. Oracle product is a database, then not a. Oracle is a DBMS, database management system. Oracle is not a database. In Oracle, you can create databases, right? Now, when Oracle is started, when you have installed Oracle or MySQL, we are using MySQL right now. We have installed MySQL. Suppose when MySQL is installed, it will be installed as a service on your machine. That means whenever your operating system starts, MySQL server also starts. Server. Whenever I say something as server, that server application will be listening continuously on a port. So this is MySQL server. If you assume that this is MySQL server, it will be listening for requests on a port. By default, MySQL server will be listening on a port called as 3306. Right? Now, MySQL is server. What will the server do? It will take requests and give response. Any server application will take a request and then give response. Now, this is server. Any client application can connect to this server and can make a query. The server will give you the response to your query. Right? You can fire any query, you will get the response. Any query in that format. So I can write any client. Assume that this is a client application. Client can be a C++ client, or a Java client, or a .NET client, in any language. Now what we are going to do is we are going to write a Java client to talk to this database server. How to talk to server? How do I know to communicate with MySQL server? So this MySQL server vendor, this company, they might have given you API, application programming interface, API. So that by using that API given by MySQL, I will be able to call methods on that API, and I can talk to database server. So in my client program, I will be using MySQL API. What do I mean by API? Application Programming Interface. Till now, you have seen Java API. This is Java API. In Java API means you are given with some set of interfaces, some classes, which you can readily use. When you want to read key value fields, you have properties class. If you want to store key value fields, you have hash map, hash table, linked list, array list. All are ready-made classes given to you, right? So you need not do from the scratch. You can just write your program using these classes. Similarly, if you want to talk to MySQL, they will give you an API, some set of classes and interfaces. By using those classes and interfaces, you can write a program which can talk to MySQL server. But that API which is given by MySQL may not be in Java, right? So it may be a C or C++ API, right? It may not be in Java. So in my Java program, do I need to write C++ code? that case, yes. Okay. First of all, forget about what language the client is using. Forget about what language the client is using. So client needs to invoke MySQL Server API to talk to MySQL, right? Now the problem is here. Let's assume that I have written my client code using MySQL API. Tomorrow, my project decided that don't use MySQL Server, Oracle Server is good. We want to shift to Oracle Server. So the decision is changed. Now, do I need to change any of my client code? Yes, because my client was earlier using API given by MySQL. Now tomorrow if I want to use Oracle, I have to use the API given by Oracle, right? So if I want to shift from one database to other, it is not so easy if I am using vendor specific API, right? So Microsoft, which was a leading vendor at the time, when this database in around 90s, Microsoft gave a API called as ODBC. What is ODBC? Open Database Connectivity. So they gave an ODBC API. Again, API means, again that will also contain some interface mainly. In the ODBC API they gave a lot of interfaces, right? So they gave ODBC API. So assume that this is ODBC API. Just to represent it here, I just wrote it ODBC API. The advantage is whenever you are writing a client program, don't use the API given by Oracle, or don't use the API given by MySQL, or don't use the API given by SQL Server. In your client program, you will be calling methods on ODBC API. You will be creating reference of interface given by ODBC API. You will be calling methods on them, right? Now, this method calls, whatever you are making on ODBC, have to be converted to database specific calls. Like if you are using MySQL, when you are making ODBC calls, the ODBC calls should be converted to MySQL calls. If you are using Oracle, the ODBC calls should be converted to Oracle calls, right? So who is responsible for converting ODBC calls to the vendor specific calls? Is driver. So the vendors, the database vendors will be giving ODBC driver. ODBC so the client makes calls on ODBC API. The ODBC API calls will go to ODBC driver, will be invoked on ODBC driver. The driver will convert the ODBC calls to MySQL calls or native calls, we call it, right? So for MySQL server, there is a separate driver. The MySQL vendor gave a separate ODBC driver. Oracle will be giving a separate driver. SQL server will be giving a separate driver. So now what did we achieve? My client program achieved vendor independence. Whether I am talking to Oracle or whether I am talking to MySQL or I am talking to SQL server, do my client program change now? No. My client is using ODBC API. We are making calls on ODBC API. ODBC calls are converted to the vendor specific calls by the driver. Every vendor will be having their own driver. So what should I do if I want to switch from MySQL to Oracle? Only change the driver, that's all. Just you have to include the corresponding driver JAS, that's all. Right? Your program will be remaining same. Right? But now again, ODBC is not a Java API. It's given by Microsoft, right? Definitely it will be a C++ API. ODBC is not a Java API, it is C++ API. Not Java API. Right? So what Java community did was they released another API called as Jdbc. Just right here. Jdbc is a API specification. Jdbc. They released another specification called as Jdbc. Now Java is becoming popular. Java has become already popular. At the time in 1990s, Java was becoming popular. So all the vendors came up with a Jdbc driver. Right? So you can just use Jdbc driver. Now whenever you are writing your client, you will use, whenever you are writing Java client, you will be using Jdbc API. You will be making calls on Jdbc API. Jdbc API calls will be invoked on Jdbc driver. Driver will take care to convert Jdbc calls to the native calls of the database. So now if you want to interact with your database, you require Jdbc driver. Right? There are 4 types of drivers available in Java. Type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. I'll talk about all the different types of drivers after we do a basic program, so that you'll be having a good idea. Right? Now I'll show you what is Jdbc API. See here, there is a package called as java.sql package. In this package, if you see, there are a lot of interfaces. Rather than classes, lot of interfaces. Right? Whenever there are interfaces, implementations also should be there. The implementations for these interfaces are given by the database vendors. For MySQL, they might have given implementations for this interfaces. Now I have shared you some jars, some files. Just go here. See, I have shared you MySQL connector zip file. Right? This I downloaded from the MySQL site, and if I extract it, this is a folder, and here I have a jar file. Right? This jar file contains lot of classes. So in this jar file, there are implementations for the interfaces given in Java.sql package. So here there is an interface called as driver interface. Implementation for this interface is present in that jar. Right? So we call this implementation of these interfaces present in Java.sql as driver. We call that this is the driver jar. This is the jar which contains the classes which will convert Jdbc API calls to MySQL calls. This is the driver jar. These are containing classes which are implementing the interface is present in Java.sql. So now if you need to work with Jdbc, what you need to do is you need to keep this jar in build path or class path. How to add a jar to class path you already know. Where? Environment variable. Or from command prompt, is it possible? If you are running from command prompt, when you are running Java program, is it possible? How? Java space hyphen cp space, you can give the path where the jar is present if you are running from command prompt. But if I am using Eclipse. How to add a jar to Eclipse class path? Let's see. You can also do parallel with me. You can just create a new project, 11 Jdbc. Okay, see here, when I said next, here you see a library tab, libraries. Don't say finish, just say new project, give a name. Next you see here libraries, select libraries, and here there is a button called as add external jars. Select it and go to that path. Where you have extracted, this is the jar file. By mistake, don't add the zip file which I gave. Extract the zip file, inside that there is a jar file. Finish. So now if I expand it, you can see here the reference jars. Under reference jars you should be able to see this, right? So this is how to add a jar to the class path in Eclipse, right? See, while creating a new project, just a new project, just give a name. Next, here there is libraries tab. Select that libraries tab. Click on this button, add external jars. Then go to that folder where you have extracted the shared file. I shared one file, MySQL connector file. Extract it, and inside that there is zip file. Select it and say finish. Select it and then say finish. After you finish, you should be able to see under the project, you should be able to see the reference libraries like this. What do I mean by driver? Driver is nothing but implementation of the java.sql API. In java.sql package, there are a lot of interfaces. Driver, Jdbc driver is nothing but implementation of all this. The jar file is containing the implementation of all these interfaces. So we added, right? So now I'll show you a very basic program to create a table and insert some rows inside a table using Jdbc API. Just see, after that I'll give you time to do it. Okay, see here, all of you. Now I want to insert, I'm creating a new program, new class, insert demo in a package com.mysys, I'll take main. The first step in writing any Jdbc program is to load the driver. The driver has to be loaded. So I'll just show you two ways. First way, see, the driver is a interface. See, there is an interface called as java.sql.driver. This is present in the java.sql package, and this driver is a class present in com.mysql.jdbc. This is the implementation of this interface. So what I need to do is, I need to do first create a reference of driver is equals to new driver. So first step is to get an object of driver. Okay, this is throwing some exception, I'll throw it. Okay, then there is a class called as driver manager. Driver manager, this is present in which package again? Java. You need to register your driver with driver manager. That is the second step. Driver manager dot register driver. You have to pass the reference of your driver, right? So this is a way to register your driver. Once your driver is registered with driver manager, then you want a connection to database. So what you do is driver manager dot get connection. So to get a connection, you need to pass the URL at which your server is listening. Username to connect and password to connect. So I will take the last method, get connection, which is taking URL, username, password. Right? So URL, I'll tell you what is the URL to be passed. Username, by default, the username which is configured to you also is root, and the password which I gave is root. You have to give your own password when you are doing. I'll tell you what is the URL. So get connection is returning me an object of connection. Connection. Remember, whenever you are creating reference variables, it should be of type interface. Variable should be from java.sql package. See, there is a class called as com.mysql.jdbc connection. This is the implementation, but I am taking interface reference. Interface reference can point to any one of the, right? Now connection. See here, this is interface present in java.sql package, right? Driver manager.get connection is returning me an object of which connection? com.mysql.jdbc connection is there, right? It is returning an object of that, right? So we are taking it on connection variable. This is the way to get a connection to driver. So two steps is registering your driver with driver manager. Once it is registered, get connection, right? So if I write my program like this, tomorrow if I want to change my database to Oracle, will I be able to change it easily? No. Why? I said no. Yes, if I want the same program without changing this code, if I want the same program to work with Oracle database also, I write the rest of the code. Right now I am discussing. If I want the same code to work with Oracle database also, same client, will it work? No. Because see, what is the object I created? com.mysql.driver. So this is something which is particular to MySQL. So tomorrow if I want to use Oracle, instead of this I need to change the client to use Oracle driver. Right? So what I will do is, I don't want to create an object of driver explicitly. I am expecting driver name through command line arguments. You know how to pass command line arguments and how to retrieve? If I am expecting only one command line argument, how to access the command line argument here? Args of 0. Okay. So I'm expecting it string driver name is equals to driver class name is equals to args of 0, right? And then I'll say class dot for name and I'll pass. So yesterday we discussed about class dot for name. What this class dot for name will do? If I pass any class name to it, it will load the class. In reflection we understood class dot for name will load this class. So if you pass any class name, it will load the class. So here I can say that driver class is loaded. Once a class is loaded, if you want some code to get executed immediately, what will you do? Once any class is loaded, you are writing your class X. Immediately after your class X is loaded, I want some code to get executed. Static block. So in the driver classes, generally, they have written a static block in which these two lines are written. Right? So once the class is loaded, these two lines are executed. In this class, in com.mysql.jdbc driver, there is a static block in which it is registering itself with driver manager. Right? So this single line class dot for name and passing the driver name right? Now, tomorrow if I want to shift to Oracle, do I need to change any code? No, because anyway, if I want to connect to Oracle, I will be passing Oracle driver name as a command line argument. If I want to connect to MySQL, I will be passing MySQL driver name as command line argument, right? So now my code is database independent. Again, connection driver manager dot get connection is returning what? Connection. I took it inside java.sql connection. What if I have taken it inside connection com.mysql.jdbc.connection is an implementation of this. Anyway, driver manager.get connection, if I am using MySQL, it is going to return an object of this class only. I could have taken it in a reference of this one only, right? But I have taken it in a reference of why? Any reason? Can you tell me? Yes, if I take this reference, again tomorrow if I want to change to Oracle will be having a different class which is implementing this interface. Again I need to change it. So whenever I am creating a reference, if I create interface reference, the interface reference can point to any implementation at runtime. So that is the reason why I have created a reference of interface, right? Clear? Now I have got a connection. Only thing I need to tell is what is the URL to be passed. There are 4 types of drivers, as I said. Each type of driver has a different URL to be passed, right? Right now, I'll talk about different types of drivers after I execute this. Right now, I want to use type 4 driver. Type 4 driver is the best driver. Type 4 driver. So if you want to use type 4 driver, the URL should be like this: jdbc :mysql / the IP of the machine on which your server is running, localhost : 3306, the port on which it is running. The database server for MySQL is using on 3306. This is the default port. If your port name does not change, just give localhost. If the port name is by default 3306, you need not give explicitly / the database name. The database name I will give it as mysysdb. I am going to create this database in MySQL. Okay. So this is the URL which you need to give: jdbc : mysql : the IP of the server, database server / database. For every URL, there will be some prefix. How do you give a request to Google? http://www.google.com. This is how you should write, right? So here also, what is the protocol here in this URL? JDBC is a protocol. And after JDBC you have MySQL. MySQL is a sub-protocol particular to database. Suppose if I am connecting to Oracle, the URL will be jdbc : Oracle. If I am connecting to SQL server, jdbc : SQL server. So this is sub-protocol particular to database, and this is the IP on which your database server is running. This is the database. This is how you should give your URL. Once I have got a connection, I am ready to fire a query, right? Yeah. So if I hard code it here, the URL I have to change. What I could do is I could expect another argument. I will simply say args of I will expect that also from the command line. So tomorrow if I want to work with Oracle, I will pass a different URL for Oracle, right? Okay, for now, just I want to show this here. Now, I have got a connection object. Once I get a connection, I will be able to fire the queries. To fire queries, there is another object called a statement. To fire any statement, SQL statement, there is another object called a statement which we can use. So, connection dot, this is a method called as create statement, which will return you an object of statement, right? So I'll take it in a reference of an object called statement. See here again, statement is a interface present in Java.SQL. I'll be getting an implementation. Whenever it's a connection dot create statement, I'll be getting an implementation. Right? So remember, whenever I'm creating references, I'm creating references of interfaces present in Java.SQL. I'm stressing that point again and again. And always references are interfaces references in Java.SQL package. Don't import any other classes. All your import should be from Java.SQL only. Then once I have got a statement object, I want to fire a DDL statement. What is DDL? Data definition language. Create tables, drop tables. These are all DDL statements, right? So I want to create a table called as employee in many times. So the query will look like this: string create table query. A query will be like this. Tell me. Create table. Table name is employee. I want employee ID, name, city, country. EMP ID. Int or number? Number in MySQL. In Oracle it might be different. MySQL will have its own types. Comma. EMP name I'll say varchar 2 of some 50. Varchar 2 or varchar? Varchar 2 is for Oracle, right? I think you should be able to tell. MySQL varchar 2 is for Oracle only. Varchar for comma city varchar of 50 comma country varchar of whatever. I'm just giving all 50s. So this is a statement to be fired, right? So what I do is statement dot execute. There are a lot of execute method to fire any DDL statement. The method which is used is execute update and pass SQL. That's all, nothing to be done. Just call this method, the query will be fired. Execute update will fire any DDL statement or DML statement. What is DML? Data manipulation, like insert, update, delete statements are DML statements. By using a single method execute update, you will be able to fire DDL or any DML statement. So now I just say system.out.println table created. And finally, what I need to do is statement dot close and connection dot statement dot close and connection dot close. Okay. So now there is no such database in my system, right? I hope you have installed SQL Yoga also, which I have given you. See, if you open SQL Yoga, it will be like this. Just open your SQL Yoga, okay? Then click on OK. It will ask, just create a new. Click on new. If you click on new, you'll get like this. Look, for MySQL server host address, you give localhost, give your username, password, and say test connection. You should get test connection successful. Is that coming? And just connect. Just click on connect. Yeah, now you'll be able to see. If you want to create your own database, right click on root at localhost, and there is an option create database. Give the name MySys, whatever data, MySys database, MySysDB. Database is created like this here, right? That's all. Database is created. I'm using same MySysDB here. This is the database name in the URL. Now I will just hard code the driver name so that I need not pass command line arguments here. Again, if I had to pass command line arguments every time, it will be a headache, right? For now, I hard coded. Now I will just run this program. So I got an exception. What is it saying? You have an error near number. Okay, let me just check. Oh, int is that. Oh, not number, it is int, and also varchar. Okay. It is int, not a number. In MySQL it is int. So I'm just running it again. Yes, table created. Let's see whether table is really created or not. I'm going to MySQL. See here, this is a database. Just select it and say refresh. Yeah, now I'm able to see employee. And here, once I selected here, if I see table data, yes, I should see the table is empty. So table got created. Now you can just do this. What I want to do is I want to insert an employee object. Right? To insert an employee object, you need insert query. So I'll create string insert query is equals to, how do you insert? Tell me. Insert into employee of emp id, comma, emp name, comma, city, comma, country, values of, okay. I want to insert one employee. Just I'm hard coding. ID is 1, comma, name is Shiva, comma, city is Bangalore, comma, country is India. This is insert query. So to execute it, same statement dot execute update. That's all. Nothing else. You pass here. You comment the statement dot execute for create table. Now you execute it. You should see that the database is, the table is having the row inserted. Let me just refresh. Yes, it is inserted. That's all. Statement dot execute update, a single method to do everything. So I'll just write a separate file for select demo. Better. a new class select demo. Now I will just copy paste these lines, common lines, copy pasting. So these are throwing some exceptions. I'll just throw. That's it. Okay. Now to fire a select query, first the query is select star from employee. That's all. String query is equals to select star from employee. That's all. This is a query. Statement dot. Previously we called state execute update. Now execute query. This is the one. Whenever you want to fire a select query, you have to use this method. What is the return type of this execute query? Result set. Return type is result set. So I'll take it in result set. Result set from java.sql. Again be careful, don't take class, always make a reference of this one, interface. Okay, now result set is just like a cursor, just like iterator, so when you fire the query, let's assume you got some 10 rows, right? Result set will be pointing to -1th row, just like iterator was pointing to -1th row. Result set is just like a iterator. Now you have got set of results in your memory, so you have to iterate over it. So while result set dot next method, what it will do is it will check whether next row is there or not. Whereas in iterator, what was the method? Has next. Here it is next method. Next method will check whether there is next row or not. If yes, it will true, it will return true. I'll go to the body of while loop. Then result set dot, once next method is called, if there is next row, the cursor, the result set will be pointing to 0th row, right? For the first time. Second time in the loop, second row. Like so now it is pointing to a row. Now I want a column in that row. Result set dot, there are a lot of getter methods. What is the first column? Employee ID. It is int, right? For every corresponding type in database, there is a getter method in result, right? Get int, right? What is the index of the column? At first column, I am having indexes will start from 1. First column, second column, not an array. At first column, I have an int, so I am calling get int, and I will take it inside int id is equals to, okay. Similarly, string name is equals to, tell me, result set dot name is varchar, corresponding in Java is string, get string of two. Similarly, city and country, get string of 3, get string of 4. Now I'll just say system.out.println id plus some space plus name plus some space plus city plus some space plus right. Let me just run it. only one row in my database, it printed. If there are more rows, it will print, right? Just write this program, and I want you to do this program. Earlier in collections, we have done this UI program, right? So if I just run it right now, what am I getting? I am getting three options: add employee, display employee, exit employee. Add employee functionality, let it be the same. You add one more option. You make this exit to come to 4. In 3, you add one more. Save to database. Right? So what will happen? By the time you call save to database, you might have added 2 or 3 employees. It will be present in the map. Right? Whatever employees are there in the map, now you should insert by looping through the map. You have to insert all the employees to database. And you also change the logic of display employees. Earlier, you are displaying employees by using map. You are returning over the map and display employees method, right? Now you first select query on database, display all the employees, right? You change this menu-driven program. I want you to add one more option: save to database. you want to add a jar to any existing project, while creating collections project, I actually didn't add a jar to this project, right? So right click on any project, go to properties, right, and click on Java build path. Okay, now you will be able to see libraries again here, right? Then click on add external jars, add your MySQL connector jar again. Fine. So here we are using statement dot execute query, and while inserting also I am using statement dot execute updates. Now there is some problem with this code. Here if I am using statement object, whenever I say statement dot execute update, the query will go to database, right? The query will go, the database server, what it will do is, whenever you fire any query, the database server first what it will do is it will try to parse your query. If you still remember in your DBMS, there are some various steps which the database server does. Once it receives a query, it will parse the query. Then inside DBMS there will be something called as query optimizer, which will optimize your query, right? Then your query will be compiled. Then your compiled query will be executed. These all are done by the database server whenever you fire a query, right? So I'll repeat again, whenever you fire any query, whether it is insert, update, delete, select, any query, first your query will be parsed by the database server. After parsing, query will be optimized by query optimizer in your database server. After query is optimized, then query will be compiled. Then the compiled query is executed. Then you will get the results, right? In this case, whenever I am using exec statement object, whenever I call execute update, all the steps are going on. Same steps are going on, right? If you see in my service, what am I trying to do? I am trying to fire same query in a loop. In a loop, let's assume I added 10 employees and said save. Try to save 10 employees. So if you iterate over each loop, this loop, you try to save all 10 employees. Here I am trying to fire same query 10 times. Whenever I call statement or execute update, same query is fired 10 times. But with different values, of course. Values are different. Even though I am firing same query 10 times, the database server has to parse the query every time, optimize it, compile it, then execute it. Right? To increase performance, I say if the compiled query is cached, it's kept in a cache memory by the server. For the first time, whenever you fire a query, all the steps will happen: parsing, optimizing, compiling. Then, after it is compiled, the compiled query can be kept in a cache on the server side, cache memory on server side. From second time onwards, already compiled query is cached, same compiled query will be executed with different values, right? So to increase performance, I can tell to database server, cache the compiled query, right? That can be done if you are using another object called as prepared statement, right? Till now what we said? Create statement, connection dot create statement, I got statement object. Now instead of doing this, what I will do is I will just comment it. I will say connection dot prepare statement. But prepare statement, what is it returning? Prepare statement object. But here if you see, you have to pass the query initially. Whenever you say prepare statement, the statement will be sent to server and it will be asked to cache the compiled version. So whenever you are calling prepared statement, you have to pass the query. Then how do you pass? Insert into employee of EMP ID, comma, EMP name, comma, city, comma, country, values of I don't know the values initially, right? The values will be coming dynamically. So question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. So 4 values, 4 question marks. Then I will take it in a reference of prepared statement. Right? Connection dot prepared statement. Rest all statements are done. Prepared statement is interface, which is sub interface of statement. Prepared statement is sub interface. So what all you can do with statement, you can do with prepared statement. The rest of the program will not, will be same, execute, update. But here, when you are executing update, see here, this is not required right now. Comment it. The execute method is present. You just need to say execute update. But in this query, what I give? Question marks, right? Did I give the values? So before calling execute update, I have to set the values for this one. So what I have to do is statement dot set. What is the first question mark employee ID, right? It's of type int. Set int. At parameter index question mark 1, the value is e dot, right? Similarly, statement dot set, that second question mark, what is that? Name. Name is string, so string at second question mark, the value is e dot get. Similarly, yeah, here. Similarly, a third question mark, fourth question mark here, get city, so you are setting the values of question marks and then calling execute update. So there are 2 advantages of using prepared statement. One is performance. Whenever you say prepare statement here, whenever you say connection dot prepare statement, you pass the query. So it will tell to database, I am giving you a query, parse it, optimize it, compile it, and cache it, as long as my connection is there. Right? So compile query will be cached. Then before executing, I am passing the values for the 4 question marks and executing. First, performance is increased, first advantage. Second advantage, if you have, I think you might have felt difficulty in concatenating this statement. When writing this line, you might have felt difficulty to concatenate. Now it is easy, right? So it is much cleaner to use prepared statement. Right? Second advantage. So we never use statement. We use prepared statement. Right? But some scenarios where you want to fire query only once, then you can use statement. If you are firing same query multiple times, it's always better to use prepared. Prepared statement is sub interface of statement. So whatever you are done doing with statement, with an added advantage, right? For select query also, you can use prepared statement, right? That's it. You can change the existing program to use prepared statement, right? So that's it for the day. You can change the code. Just say